Hello everyone, I'm bringing you a video today looking at a pair of NBC Overboots. Now, British NBC kit has received quite a lot of interest on the channel when I've uploaded videos looking at elements of the kit, the suits, the boots and so forth previously. So hopefully this video will be of interest. These boots are a little bit different. They don't fit into the sort of normal evolution of these Overboots. They're actually the design intended for use with the British Ski March boot, which we looked at on the channel previously. So that's what we're going to have a look at in some detail now. So we'll start off looking at a pair of these in the original packaging, and you can see these are packaged in the heavyweight plastic, which we've looked at in previous videos looking at the Overboots. Basically standard packaging for most British NBC kit. Obviously the suits, the gloves, etc. come in similar heavyweight plastic, clear plastic packaging as we have here. Notch at the end here to help tear them open, of course. You have the details on the label here. The NATO stock number at the top, the designation there, the official designation, Overboots NBC Ski March number 1 Mark 1, and these are for sizes 10 to 13, and then you have the contract number underneath that, packed January 1978. I believe these are a mid-1970s introduction, so relatively early. Primary standard package, of course, and then see reverse for fitting instructions, which we'll have a look at in just a minute when we look at the open pair that I have. You can see these are held together inside by rubber bands. You can see there, and we will dig out a pair of these now to have a look at, an open pair that I have in the collection. So here we have a pair of boots out of the packaging, which we're going to look at. And I had initially intended to do a sort of lacing demonstration, but working through the camera rather than, and with the boot on display here, rather than actually having it on your foot, it's just too awkward to really do in any sensible amount of time. It's time consuming to do, trying to work looking through the camera. So I've laced up one of the boots to demonstrate, to show basically, and obviously we have the lacing diagram on the back of this to look at as well. But this is the front of the label that came with these, and you can see there the NATO stock number at the top again, Overboots NBC Ski March number 1 Mark 1, so still dealing with the same pattern of boot, again size 10 to 13 in this instance. The contract number here, which is a shorter contract number, CT2A/929, which is an early 80s contract number. And you can see there, quantity 1 pair, Butyl Products Limited, the manufacturer in this instance, and the date is January 1982. And this again was the primary standard package, of course, and this reverse has the fitting instructions, which we can see here. So if you wish to pause here, obviously you can. The instructions are fairly clear, but the design of boot is very different from that we've looked at previously, not least in the fact it has speed lacing hooks to assist in lacing these up, which is a much better way of doing it than the eyelets, the rubber eyelets in the other boots, I have to say. Obviously designed for a specific purpose, so in that regard these need to be a better design of boot. They need to be that bit more effective, and certainly I think they are better, although those who use these, I'd be interested to hear what your opinions of them are. Obviously the general thought was that at the time generally the NBC boots were not much use for moving and fighting in. Whether these were marked improvement on the sort of standard different varieties of standard NBC Overboot, I don't know, but they do differ in that regard and have some other specific features. So we have the lacing instructions here. You start off by passing the lace through this tab at the front here, which has a channel running through it, the loop in the rubber. You then run the laces up to the first set of speed lacing hooks there, and you can see you almost feel like you should cross them over coming off here, but the diagram doesn't show that. It's a straight line from this side to there, and then cross them over again and make a half knot here. Then up to the set of eyelets that run on these straps around the heel. You can see that there, that actually sort of supports the back of the heel here. You can see that there. And there's one of those on each side, of course, and there's a speed lacing eyelet there that the lace is attached to, and then it's tied in a knot around the front here. So that's the laced up section. And then around the ankle, or just above the ankle, around the very lowest part of the calf, you have this rubber leg tie that's simply tied off at the front there. The material these are made from, other than having the speed lacing eyelets, is basically the same as that you see with the other patterns of NBC boot. You have a thicker rubber sole, and then this thinner rubber upper, which you can see the same, possibly cloth reinforced rubber that you see with the other NBC boots, glued together and manufactured in the same sort of way, so that the manufacturing required to make these is not that different. The speed lacing eyelets you can see are just riveted in place, as is typical with these for leather boots as well. And you can see the design of the sole here, which gives you the sort of a relatively decent tread interesting design of tread. This is different from what you see on the other NBC boots, interestingly. They haven't gone for a standard tread. They've gone with this diamond pattern, which is, I think, peculiar to these. And that's glued on, that sole there. You can see the seam here where you've got the soft rubber is also used to make these tabs, which the speed lacing hooks attach onto, and then the sole is glued onto this. And you can see there that the glue oozing out here where that tab at the front has been glued in place as well. So that's the basic design of the Ski March NBC boot. It's, I say, rather different from what you see with the other designs of NBC boot out there. Just turn it around, have a look at the other side. There's not much more to see really, but you can just obviously have the opportunity here in a video to look at all angles of these. So there we are, looking at the other side. This one here is per the way these were folded when they arrived in the packaging. So the packaging of these have been opened, but they haven't been removed from it. So that's how neatly these are folded down when they arrive. The two sets of laces were packaged together in one boot and had to be separated. So it's quite an involved process putting these on, it has to be said, which is true of all NBC boots. So that's the two NBC boots that came in this package, of course. And just another look at the fitting instructions there. Rotate the boot round again. You can see how that sort of lacing pattern works compared to what's been shown here. Obviously these look rather different when they're on the foot. You pull this up and obviously the laces there would be a lot tighter up around these speed lacing hooks, but it just gives you an idea here of how these were laced up and obviously how they differ from the standard British issue NBC boot. So there it is, quick look at a pair in the packaging, and then this pair here removed from the packaging. So I do hope you found it interesting looking at this. If you compare this with the videos looking at other NBC Overboots, you'll see this is quite a departure from the sort of standard design. It's necessary, of course, for it to fulfill its function as an overboot for the Ski March boot, and a little bit of an oddity in that regard, and hopefully it's been interesting from that perspective. If you have found this interesting and you'd like to see more of this sort of thing, please do consider subscribing to the channel if you haven't already. And whether you're newly subscribing or you've previously subscribed, please do make sure you hit the little bell, the notification button down below, and that will of course alert you when I upload future videos. If you really like my uploads and you'd like to support the channel, you can. Both Patreon and PayPal are linked down below. And a massive thank you, as I always say, to everybody who supports the channel using those two methods. It really is greatly appreciated, and a big thank you to all of you. Thank you very much indeed. If you'd like to follow the channel on social media, you can. Facebook, Instagram and Twitter are all linked down below. And if you'd like to get in touch with me, but you don't really use social media, there is of course an email address in the description as well. That's everything for this video. So until next time, bye for now.